Yeah, rehab process is going great. It's just a little difficult, obviously, with some of the modality type of things that I've been doing that obviously, with quarantine and everything, I haven't been able to have access to. So that's kind of been the toughest part of it. Right now, I'm a little bit ahead of schedule. But the most important thing right now is just taking it day by day. I can't predict when exactly I'll be on the field, whether that's July, August or September. But obviously my return date is sometime in August.
Okay. Thanks, Jarvis.
Thanks, Mary Kay. Our next question is from Tom Withers.
Hey, Jarvis. Thanks, man. Appreciate the time. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, sir.
Thanks. Hey, we were talking to JC Treader yesterday, and he just talked about, health and safety, and that's paramount for all the players. What are you most concerned about, Jarvis, as they talk about, ramping up and maybe getting you guys back into the facility and then obviously back onto the field?
Well, I mean, as of now, I'm a part of NFLPA as well. JC obviously is the president. So, I think, as of now, that is the primary concern, everybody's safety. Obviously, this is a time right now where obviously the world needs something. The world needs sports. The fans need sports. Everybody's looking forward to football season, obviously being that that's the only season that seems to be on schedule right now. So I think for me, just looking at it is one to make sure that everybody is safe, from the players to the fans to, everybody in the whole entire world, because this is affecting a lot of people right now.
Do you feel like there's a legitimate timeline here? Do you feel like, by the middle of next month or so, we can start thinking about you guys being back in Berea?
Yeah, man, I wish I had an answer for you. I don't have an answer for you on that one.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Our next question, Scott Petrick, you're up.
Hey, Jarvis, you mentioned not being able to do some of the modality stuff that you wanted to do. How limiting has that been? And have you had any setbacks since the surgery?
It hasn't really been as limiting as you may think it is. I've had a great opportunity to continue to work with the doctors and the staff that has helped me kind of throughout this whole process. Whether it's the place that I go to now, where it's Mike Boris is helping me there, Anthony from the Cleveland Browns, who's the PT over there, has been doing an amazing job checking in with me every morning and every afternoon to make sure that I'm okay, sending me things to do if I have any problems or soreness or tightness, and I've also been working with one of my primary doctors, Dr. Chad, as well as just far as on the modality side of, I've learned how to cup myself. I've learned how to needle myself. And those are just things that over time that I've picked up, obviously consulting with them first about what I'm feeling and where I'm feeling these things at and what are the best modalities that I can do outside of, jumping in the pool or riding a bike or something like that.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott. Our next question is going to be from Marla. Marla, your line should be open.
Okay.
You're open.
I got it. Okay. I'm just curious, Jarvis, have you done any weird, like outside the box things, kind of gotten creative?
From the standpoint of modalities or like just
or rehab or just anything that you kind of going back to the, high school days or, what I mean? Just some old school kind of things.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. A lot of the things has just kind of been, further improvements of a lot of things that I've already have been doing, continuing to make sure that I have the proper, weight room set up here at my house. And then obviously when I go to see Mike Boris, which he owns a facility, getting what I need from there as well, with the time that I have, with the time that I spend there. So everything has just kind of been, enhanced from what I've always done in the past. But now, it's forced me to be more creative around the house with the workout equipment that I have and ordering new workout equipment to make sure that I can do the things that I need to make sure that I can play.
Is it somewhat scary when you're going out to rehab, when you've got to worry about you and your family and, just the sort of dangerous world we live in?
Yeah, no, honestly, that was like one of the toughest parts for me, throughout this whole process. In the beginning, I took this, I still take this seriously, but, I took it, in a way of obviously protecting my family, protecting myself, the people that, I love. So I took about a month where it was kind of just me going back and forth on FaceTime and, using Zoom calls to be able to go through my workout with doctors and things like that to make sure that I was staying, the course in my rehab process. And now at the facility that I train at, they do an amazing job. Each person, their temperature is getting checked. They only allow 10 people in the building at one time. So, making sure that I'm there on time to be able to go in there, get the amount of work that I need, then get out before the next crew come in, and give them time to clean up and disinfect things as we leave and before we come.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marla. Tony Grossi, you're up. I believe you need to click to unmute your line, please.
Okay.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Jarvis, thanks. You've talked about this before, but I wonder if you could expand on the motivation to never miss a game. Where does that come from, and how much is it on your mind as you're going through this time right now? And second of all, before I forget, where exactly are you doing your rehab? What city in Florida?
I'm in Deerfield. I'm doing most of my work in Deerfield.
Okay.
But as far as your question about missing a game, I mean, yeah, obviously that's one of the biggest things for me. That's one of the goals that I've set out for myself since I was, a kid watching Monday Night Football. I think I talked to you about that before. And it's still something that's in the back of my mind. Obviously, I want to make sure that I'm going through this process the right way too, and making sure that I'm healthy enough to be able to go out there and help the team win games and not hurt the team. So yeah, that is in my mind, but I'm really focused on this rehab to make sure that I can be ready for the season.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Dan Lobby, you're up next.
Hey, Jarvis. When the Browns drafted Donovan Peoples-Jones, he told us that you had sort of developed a relationship with him, or giving him some pre-draft advice, things like that. Can you just tell us a little bit about that? And then, since he's been drafted, how much have you been talking to him and kind of guiding him along?
Yeah, a lot of our conversations, he has a lot of questions, which, I admire about him. He's asking me about punters. He's asking me about the team. He's asking me about guys on the team, and, all of the questions that I admire about him, from being around him the last 2 months, I see already he's a hard worker. I see that he's eager to learn. And those are some of the things that I appreciate about him. And a lot of the things that I've told him is just, it's football, it's the game, and right now he has an opportunity, this whole college class has an opportunity to get their legs back under them. This is the first time that, they haven't played a year straight. This is kind of like a break for them, so one of the things with him working as hard as he's working, I just want him to listen to his body. I keep talking to him all the time. Just listen to your body, trust what you're feeling right now. And understand that, a lot of the people didn't get this opportunity to kind of have this break with this quarantine, which is kind of like a blessing in disguise for everybody, but especially, the college kids that, won't actually have a full year of football straight, so just kind of tell him to take care of his body, the ins and outs of everything.
Were you excited when you saw the Browns drafted him?
I was excited. He actually texted me. I stopped watching the draft probably after day 2. I think he got drafted on day 3, 6th round, right? And I didn't watch day 3, and he texted me. I texted him. I was like, I just was thinking about you when he texted me, and he said, man, he was like, man, I can't wait. And I'm like, man, yeah, I know, I can't wait either. And then I looked on Instagram and I saw we drafted him, and I was like, oh wait, we drafted you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was kind of like a awkward moment, but it's also a good moment to understand and know that being around him and seeing his work ethic, that we getting a guy that can help us with all the potential that he has.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dan. We're going to go to Jake Trotter next. Jake, your line is open.
Yeah, hey, Jarvis, I know you were kind of back and forth on whether to get the surgery. a few months ago. In hindsight, are you glad that you did it now? Do you feel like you're on the right path to feeling good again on the field?
Man, absolutely. Absolutely. It was something that I knew I needed, and I was going to try to put off and, play the tough guy for one more year. But just understanding that where I was and the things that it was not allowing me to do, my injury was not allowing me to do. Again, I did not want to be part of the reason for, the team not having success, myself not having success. And just, unselfishly just decided to go ahead and have the surgery.
Thanks, Jake. Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Jarvis. Could you give us your early impressions of Kevin Stefanski and the direction that he has you guys going? I know it's a different type of off season virtually, but what has it been like so far for you?
Obviously this is challenging for everybody. Everybody that's kind of going through this process of having to learn through iPads and, Zoom calls and things like that. But, the coaching staff has done a great job from, AVP, Coach Kevin, Chad, I'm sure the entire staff, the way that Coach Stefanski has been running things, it's been very helpful. Baker's done a great job making sure that everybody's on the same page and staying together, even getting guys together a couple weeks ago in Texas. And that's something that for us, is really forefronted by, Coach Stefanski, and he's encouraging us to continue to look at our playbook. Obviously this is optional, but, encouraging us to be on these Zoom calls, these Zoom meetings, to make sure that we can get on the same page and, not lose days because of what we're going through.
And when you mentioned the Baker stuff in Texas, did you think about going, or did you just need to stay there in Florida to rehab, or didn't want to travel? What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought about going, but, at the end of the day, I'm in a crucial part of my rehab process. And, going out there for a couple of days and, I would have to figure out all the logistics of trying to get, a doctor out there, make sure I had a weight room and things like that. I didn't think that, it would be worth it. But, obviously those guys, they made the most of it, made the best of it, got better for that week that they, went out there. We still did Zoom calls and Zoom meetings throughout the week. So, I was able to be a part of the learning process. I just wasn't out there on the field with them.
All right. Thank you, Nate. We're going to go to Mary Kay Cabot next. We'll take Tony and Jake, and we'll call it a day. Mary Kay, you're open.
Hey, Jarvis, can you talk about how Odell, has been coming along too? The two of you guys together, we're watching you guys work so hard on social media. So what has been the relationship between you guys in terms of just keeping each other motivated to come back from these surgeries? Have you seen each other? Will you get together soon? How's that going?
Yeah, we haven't seen each other. We've been FaceTiming. We've been kind of documenting our whole process of recovery and sending it back and forth to each other, and obviously right now like I said, it's a crucial time in, our recovery stages of getting our strength back. The healing process is kind of done. Now it's time to make sure that everything's working together, and then being able to go in the right phases, in the right stages to be able to, translate that all back to the field. So, seeing his process has been motivating me, obviously from afar, which, he does automatically. The player he is, his work ethic, motivates me, and going back and forth with our videos about just where we are in our rehab process is something that has been encouraging us to get even better than we were before.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mary Kay. So final two, we'll go to Tony Grossi. Tony, I believe you need to hit unmute on your side, and you're ready to go.
Thanks, Rob. Jarvis, have you been able to get a clear vision of the end product of Stefanski's offense? And what do you think of it? We got tight ends, fullbacks, Rashard Higgins back. Just your thoughts on what you see of the offense.
Yeah, as of now, obviously, we're very multiple. We plan on playing, in multiple packages. Obviously, the guys that's on the team, we plan on using them in the best way that helps benefit the team and things like that. But, it's good to see, we continue to add talent. We continue to try to find balance and who we want to be as an offense, and that's the exciting part.
All right, thank you. We'll take two more, and that's it, guys. So Jake, we'll go with you, and then Nate, you'll close it out.
Yeah, hey Jarvis, the Browns added some more LSU guys to the team in the draft. Joining you, Odell, Greedy, with Joe Burrow entering the league. #1 overall now as well. How would you compare the LSU talent level in the NFL against other programs, including the likes of like Alabama, Ohio State, et cetera?
I mean, it translates. Mostly every guy that you've ever seen that came from LSU has had an opportunity to play right away or within the first 2 years and make an impact. So it's always good to add guys like that from the SEC period. Which is one of the best conferences in college football. So to have LSU guys coming in, I think I tweeted this. I mean, we just added more like swagger, and more guys that's ready to play and know how to play the game at a high level.
All right, thank you, Jake. And then next we're up with Nate Ulrich with the final question.
Hey, Jarvis, was it tough to see Adam Henry go, and how are things going with Chad O'Shea? I know you mentioned him earlier.
Yeah. Obviously, with given our history, it was tough. But Chad is also a guy that has proven history, has been on Super Bowl teams, coached Super Bowl teams, won Super Bowls, lost a Super Bowl or two, and has a history of coaching a lot of receivers that play in the slot, that play on the outside. But we talk a lot about just the option route is like the big thing that we talk about right now. And he's had guys like Edelman, who's arguably one of the best guys in the NFL to be able to run an option route and make the right decision all the time. So, he's just kind of been talking. We've just kind of been talking and critiquing my game and finding ways to, allow me to do what I do best. And our relationship is obviously building and growing. I can't wait to actually, I've met him before, but I can't wait to actually get in the room and continue to learn, go through all the struggles, the ups and downs or whatever it is, and then put it together on a Sunday and win some football games.